This is going to be a March reading. I'm going to do March 10th to the 12th. So the 10th, which is today, to the 12th. However, this is a timeless reading. Like most readings, if you know how to truly pick and sift through the information. My name is Hadassah, and I will be doing your reading today for March 10th to the 12th. All right, so I definitely feel like in the energy, fitness. This video is for somebody who understands how important fitness is, but doesn't know how to apply it, or can't apply it. Spirit is having heavy emphasis on these next 2 days, from the 10th to the 12th, to focus on your fitness. Focus on doing 100 squats a day. It sounds like a lot, but if you break it up into like 10 squats here, 30 squats here, 40 squats here, and until you get to 100, that 100 squats, you'll see if you can actually do 100 squats a day, you have 24 hours. If you can't do 100 squats in 24 hours, you don't deserve to be healthy. Because I'm not gonna say you don't deserve to be healthy, right? That's kind of harsh. But there is like a lack of deserving, because it is quite simple. And that's what I realized in the last couple days, is that it's actually super easy to get healthy. It's actually it's actually super easy to get healthy and to so Spirit is saying, make it fun. Make it fun. Make it something that you do, like when you hear your song come on and you just start dancing. Like, let it be something like that. Like let a workout be something like that. Spirit is saying you can do it. It's easy for you. And once you get past that 3rd day of like truly working out and putting in the effort to uncover that body that you've been covering for years now, you'll see how much you've been sleeping on yourself. Okay, so let's see what we have in the cards. Spirit just told me every fat cell in your body was a reflection of you fighting to stay here. Every reflection, every fat cell in your body, every meal that you ate that wasn't good for you, it was a reflection of you fighting to not unalive yourself. So when you look upon yourself, don't look upon yourself in a way of like, oh man, like I have completely let myself go. Look at yourself in the sense of, this is what it took for me to hold on. But now that I have held on, now that I have held that line, now that I'm coming out of this sense of depression, this shell of protection is no longer needed. Spirit keeps saying it's so easy for them. They know it too. If you're wondering what I'm drinking, this is ginger turmeric tea with whole cloves, and that's it. Spirit said cut out sugar too. They don't care about you. I'm just gonna download some shit real quick. because everybody's speaking and I just want them to get their messages out. They did it on purpose. No. If it was that easy, then your mother would have been able to do it. Don't eat that anymore. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's not good for you, and neither is she. Wait 5 minutes before you walk in if you're feeling unsure. All right, so let's get to the messages. All right, what do we have for the collective for January? For something significant could be happening in January. But what do we have for March 10th to the 12th? So heart, we have the Knight of Pentacles and the Page of Swords. So with the Knight of Pentacles coming in, I definitely feel like I said, there's a good investment on the way. There's a good prospect on the way, but you need to fast. Spirit is fucking putting heavy emphasis. Excuse my language. Spirit is putting heavy emphasis on the fact that you need to fast. You need to fast. Your eating window should be 6 p.m. Yes, like for all day you should be just drinking like tea with no sugar. Yeah, herb teas with no sugar all day. And then 6 to like 8 p.m. is your eating window. And like, Spirit is saying the only time you should eat freely is 2 days out of the week. The only time that you should have breakfast is 1 day out of the week. Until you get your health in order. Like, do you understand? Spirit, that's straight from Spirit. Excuse me. That's straight from Spirit. Until you get your health in order, those chips can wait. Those cookies can wait. That pizza can wait. That McDonald's can wait. If it doesn't wait, then do your best to try to like do your best to try to, when you eat something bad, to counteract it with eating something delicious and good. When you eat something like a bag of chips, chase it with a salad. They both pretty much cost the same thing nowadays. If you're gonna eat bad, right? Because your destiny requires you to be healthy. You cannot be overweight. You cannot be unhealthy with what you are here to do. Nobody wants to tell you that. I feel like Spirit is like saying a bunch of things when ultimately that's what they're saying, is that you can't do what you're here to do until you are the health weight that you're supposed to be. Because unfortunately, society is extremely shallow. Society is extremely shallow, and you won't be able to get those messages across to those who actually need it until you look like the person that you're supposed to be. Spirit also said until you smell like the person you're supposed to be. Until you think like the person that you're supposed to be. Until you care enough like the person you're supposed to be. Who do you see yourself as in your future? And like, if you won $1 million, like, who would you be? Be that now. Minus, of course, all of the expenses. But for the most part, you can be that person, healthy. Get up every morning at 5 a.m. and work out. Make sure you take a walk every day. Learn to be grateful. Invest in yourself. Be productive. Like, all of these things are what people who are millionaires do every day. The problem is you think that becoming a millionaire means that you get days off, when actually becoming a millionaire means you have no days off. Becoming a millionaire means there will be a tremendous level of sacrifice that needs to be released effortlessly, needs to be removed gracefully. But yeah, with the Knight of Pentacles right here, there's definitely some financial growth afoot. I definitely feel like, excuse me, you need to get into a routine. Get into a routine that is going to bring about new ideas and curiosity of life, right? A thirst for knowledge. You need to have a thirst for knowledge, a restlessness, that can get you the information and messages, and negotiations that will be able to fuel you towards a future that looks more conducive to you, to peace, to happiness, to abundance. Tarot is not something that you speed through, right? If you're truly connected to the divine and to spirit, when you're doing tarot, like, you can hear like several different people, and you're thinking several different things. And if you're an empath like me, you're feeling several different things. So in order for me to get the messages out to all people, because this is a collective reading, I will be going slower than I normally do. Spirit is saying that there is a disappointment that you're having in letting go of an earth sign, Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini. There is something new coming in March. Perfectism. Are you a perfectionist? Because what's coming in for you will require you to yield the floor. Not yield the floor in an attempt to clash. Yield the floor in a sense, because a lot of people yield the floor just so that they can be able to dismantle you intellectually, right? You think because somebody yields the floor to you that they're listening, but they're really just listening to respond. They're not listening to actually take heed. So there is a requirement for you to listen and actually take heed. There's information coming in, and it's going to come in from a routine. It's going to come in from a routine of dedication on site. It's going to have to, you're going to need to take the necessary steps to let go of a Gemini. There's a Gemini around you that you think is grateful, but all they're there to do is take from you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh like, haha, you're being taken advantage of. I laughed because people are absolutely ridiculous, and the only thing new under the sun is the current generational style. But it's the same, no matter where you incarnate, it's the same. And if you know, you know. So definitely you want to clear your space. I'm super thirsty in this reading, so you could definitely be needing to drink your water. Whoever I'm with needs to drink their water, or maybe if you're the type that have altars, you need to put water on it. Don't put anything else. Just put water. Don't put nothing else. Not a candle, not food, water. That is literal life. If you want to give something to the passed over, aka death, what would death want? Life. So if you have an altar, put water is what I'm hearing. Somebody's spying on you too. Somebody's spying on you super, super heavy. You were walking down the hallway in your house a few nights ago and you felt like somebody was exactly immediately behind you. Somebody was. And it's nothing to be afraid of, because they're always around you. It's just, I think you're becoming more spiritually aware so you can feel them more, but they've always been there and they will be. This is what I had to realize when I started to be more aware of spirit, is that even if I'm scared, even if I'm fearful, they were still there before I knew that they were there. They were still very much there before I was even born. So to be fearful of something that I can't change is a waste of fear, right? Because you must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. You must face your fears. You must permit it to pass over you and through you. And when it has gone past, you must turn the inner eye to see its path. And where it has gone, there should be nothing. Only you should remain. So it's very important to be slow and steady into this new spiritual development of you, this new evolving, this new nine-year cycle I'm hearing. I'm hearing release them. I'm hearing that heavy. Like there's something that you need to release. Someone, it doesn't have to be a person. Them could be cigarettes. Them could be, 420. Them could be sex. Them could be, there's a need to release in order to see yourself. You're too surrounded, and that's why you can't see yourself clearly. That's why you can't develop a thought that is natural, because you are constantly around people who are who are actively okay with trying to tell you how you should be. That's never fun. But there's some news coming in. There's an alertness to you that was necessary for you to be able to protect what it is that you're supposed to protect. Possibly a realm. You could be a realm protector. There are people out here who protect whole realms full of children. If you're one of those people and you're protecting whole realms full of children and you're kind of willy-nilly out here, the children will be willy-nilly out here. That's how it's so easy to give a society something like the Epstein files with a whole bunch of redacted information, a whole bunch of boxes on it, protecting people when it's all supposed to be speculation. What's the point of hiding their names if it's all speculation? You didn't hide the victims' names. A lot of the victims' names are still in there. So is it really a hunting book? Is it really a book to go hunt down the people who survived? Because that information didn't do anything but try to normalize beastly mentality and how to make a group of women, children, and men feel extremely unprotected. But see, the reality is people are smart enough to realize that. So fuck, we have to do something else to throw a war in their face. We're going to war, guys. We did something stupid. We should have never released those files, because now, people can see, put two and two together and realize that it's your government in those files. It's your kings, your queens, your elite of society. It's not the plumber down the street, okay? It's predominantly the people that wear the suits who you think are extremely elegant and clean and pure, when really underneath those suits, they are beastly, wicked people. And you can tell by the way a society is based on how the children and the women are treated. But yeah, with the Page of Swords right here, I definitely feel like you have a thirst for knowledge, you know. There is a need to, with the Ace of Wands right here, a new project. It's like newness. These are both newness cards. The Ace of Wands and the Page of Swords, both based off of willpower, based off of your information, based off of your power, your knowledge, your potential, your ability to bring about new beginnings, your ability to bring about contracts that fuel you towards a destiny that makes sense. I have a sinus infection. I feel like I've had a sinus infection for a while now, and I wasn't aware of it. Now that I'm like being more healthy, I'm starting to realize like all of the things inside of me that's not. Yeah, I'm like super stuffy in here. Definitely need to get checked out about that. Or check myself about that. Right. So I feel like there's an urge to create. Like there's an urge to I feel like Spirit doesn't want me to get off of this conversation about your health. I feel like Spirit is not gonna I feel like every card is coming out is about health. Like that's what Spirit, because like when I try to like gather something else for like the other people, because this is a collective reading, it just keeps coming out with health. Now that could be because mostly all of the food is poison. So even if you do believe that you are healthy, you are still eating fake food. So I can see why like health is like screaming at me in the realms right now for messages to come out for the collective, because there is no real food, and all the food that you think is real either has an extreme amount of pesticides and poison, or is produced in such a mass level that it is deficient of nutrients, right? Because a lot of the times the reason why a plant is nutrient is because it has other plants around them feeding them. But if it's a whole field of just them, the nutrients kind of, you would think that. I don't know if that's actually true, but it sounds true. I don't know. I just kind of do what I feel sounds right these days, because most people have clearly lost their minds. So it's safe to say I should just listen to myself and figure out what I think something is. But yeah, so all of the food doesn't have the level of nutrients, even if it is like vegan, you know, healthier habits of eating, which I am vegan now. I don't want to eat my friends. So yeah, there's that. Because I can't go outside and like be so amused by like a bird or a squirrel and then like go inside and like eat a chicken or eggs, or, you know, that's someone's children. Like they just put it neatly together. Like that's someone's children. Like just because like they are a completely different species from you doesn't take away the fact that you're eating someone's children, and then you walk around and be astonished by the Epstein files as if you aren't a part of the Epstein's files to some species or another, right? It's all a bunch of karma reflecting back to itself, and that's the unfortunate part about it. That's why when you know what's truly going on, you can't do anything but just kind of sit and like hope that you can get away from this. Pray for a bag so that you can get out of here. Pray for a bag so that you can get gone from here. 24 minutes down. But before I go from here, I can't believe how I can't breathe. Like, And I'm trying to think if that's like the fact that they're like actively killing off all of the great trees of the planet, which is like destroying the air, because everybody thinks that the city is actually more luxurious than nature, because we live in a backward society where people think backwardly. But I don't know if it's because of the trees, there's a lack of oxygen, or because of the pollution, what they're doing in the air every day. But like, I literally can't even like breathe, bro. Like, I can't breathe. I cannot breathe. And I feel like you can't either. I feel like everything is coming to a head. And it's not a means of like being depressed or like being like sad, you know, like, oh, you know, woe is me. It's not that, because if you're actually a truly intellectual, if you're a truly ancient intellectual, you already seen this coming. You already seen the conditions of the world, the burden, the extra responsibility, the hard work, the overloaded, the carrying too much, the stress. You already seen it, but there's a need for compassion, not for the world, but for yourself, so that you can get to your Ace of Pentacles and be able to have the abundance and manifest the things that you desire. But there will be a need to save money. There will be a need to sacrifice. There will be a need for self-improvement. There will be a need to forgive, trust, because that's what brings in high-level commitments. Until next time.